SMASH! It's not just an onomatopoeia. It actually stands for single malt and single hop. And if you've never brewed a smash beer before, you need to give it a try. Because I think brewing with a single malt choice and a single hop variety will make you a better brewer. Let me explain. When starting out brewing, you're likely to look at recipes and see all kinds of malts and hops being used. Maybe even with some experience, you can get over ambitious and start adding in a bunch of malts, thinking that they'll just add more flavor and make your beer more complex. But you'll quickly find out that that beer is just a muddled mess with no focus or nuance. The same goes for hops. These days, IPA lovers are often looking for the fruit basket of hop combos, adding several varieties at various points in the boil, but are then just left with a hodgepodge of flavors. Descriptive words on hop packages can be useful to give you an idea of what it might taste like when you use them, but taste is very much subjective. So to one person, Mosaic might taste like blueberries, but to the next person, it might taste like cat pee. There's really no way of knowing whether or not you like the taste of a certain hop without isolating it and trying it in a recipe. Malts, on the other hand, have a bit more of a subtle impact, unless of course we're comparing light malts to dark roasted ones. Base malts like 2-row, 6-row, Pilsner, Maris Otter are all said to add a different character. But what really is the difference? Is it subtle or is it significant? And more importantly, which do you prefer? It's hard to know without isolating them and then brewing a beer with them. So in order to fully understand these ingredients and their impact, a smash beer is a great technique to use. You simplify the recipe and you can highlight what you like or not like about a certain ingredient. This is a particularly good idea for brand new ingredients that come out, or something that you've never tasted before. It'll help you build that mental database of flavors and aromas so that when it comes time to build a more complex recipe, you can pull from that to create the perfect beer. But smash beers are not only good at helping you understand flavors, they're also a test of your skills. If your brewing practices are not honed, the flaws will easily be shown in the final beer. Wonky mashing schedule, improper fermentation temperature, bad yeast health, oxidation due to bad packaging, all these faults and any resulting off flavors will shine because there's nothing to hide behind. So it can also be helpful to brew the same smash beer multiple times. That will give you a chance to compare the results and see whether you can improve skill-wise, especially if you're noticing something wrong with a few recent beers. Try brewing up a smash, and maybe you can isolate the problem. The next logical step up from a smash beer would be to change one variable or one ingredient in the beer. If you want to see how a certain specialty malt changes the beer, you can add a little bit to the next batch and compare the results. Or you could try to use different yeast, but keep the single malt and single hop the same. This can make a surprising difference, as yeast greatly impacts the way the beer tastes. But it's hard to know what yeast is right for you unless you figure it out for yourself. Or you can always try different mash temps, different fermentation temperature, dry hop versus non-dry hop. The options to experiments are endless. Also, I think you'll be surprised at how good a smash beer can taste. The right malt and hop choice can really make for an amazing beer. Sometimes simplicity is the key for certain beers. And in my opinion, there's no smash beer that tastes as good as a Czech Pilsner. And while you can get more complex with this beer, a Czech Pils is truly defined by its two main ingredients, Bohemian Pilsner malt and Saaz hops. Let's brew it up so I can show you how easy it can be to make an amazing smash beer. I'm going to zoom through this recipe, but if you want the full list of ingredients and steps, check out the description. As you can probably predict, the malt bill is super simple, 100% Bohemian Pilsner. I'll mash this at 149 Fahrenheit for 60 minutes. To me, Bohemian Pilsner malt only slightly differentiates from other Pilsner malts, giving a slightly more cracker flavor compared to regular Pilsner. But it is what's considered to be necessary for a proper Czech Pilsner. After the mash, I pulled the grains and brought it to a boil for 70 minutes. At the top of the boil, I added our first bit of Saaz, 2 ounces. Saaz to me has a mild, earthy, herbal flavor with a touch of spice, and it's usually pretty low in alpha acids, hence why I need to add a little bit more at the top of the boil, and boil for a little bit longer to get the right bitterness level. To me, Saaz is pretty distinctive. If you've had a Czech Pilsner, then you know the taste, and you know what to expect. The other Saaz additions come at the 30-minute mark, 1.5 ounces, and then with 10 minutes left, 0.5 ounces. Altogether giving us a grand total of about 32 IBUs. And that's it for the brew day. Chill down and then pitch the yeast, which I'll be using WLP802 Czech Budejovice yeast. I tried my best with that one. This is a lager yeast that I believe derived from Budvar, a brewery in the Czech Republic that makes Czech Budweiser, the original Budweiser. I got to try some while I was there and it was actually really good, so it should work perfectly for this. But there are a few other lager strains out there that will work just fine for this. And today, I'll be fermenting in the Delta 8-gallon Fermtank, which Delta is the sponsor for this part of the video. they provided this Fermtank for me to use, and I gotta say it's quickly becoming one of my favorite fermenters, and a nice upgrade to stainless steel if you're looking to make the jump. What I really enjoy about this is all the tri-clamp ports that are on this thing. You got several on the lid, a few down below, and with the right accessories, you can really customize this to your preference. My favorite part is probably this giant tri-clamp on the lid, which allows for a massive cooling coil. This greatly speeds up cooling times and keeps the fermentation in check, and it's definitely needed for a lager like this one. Big thanks to Delta Brewing Systems for partnering with me, and if you're in the market for a quality conical at a reasonable price, then check out the link in the description. So with the yeast in, I fermented this at 56 degrees Fahrenheit for about 2 weeks, slowly ramping the temp up until it was done fermenting. Then transferred the beer into a keg and let it lager for about a month until it was ready to drink. A thing of beauty. Extremely crushable and refreshing. If you've never made a Czech Pils, you gotta give it a try. And let me know if you've ever made a smash beer. And if so, which combo is your favorite? Maybe there's something else out there that's as good as this. And if you enjoyed this video, I got a bunch of other ones about techniques and skills to help you become a better brewer. Here's one about my top advice for beginner brewers. Cheers and happy brewing.